Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Samantha and in today's tutorial I'm going to be teaching you how to crochet Kirby. All of the products used in this tutorial will be listed in the description box below. We will also have Kirby joining us in the corner who will be your written guide throughout the video. So let's get started. You will need a needle, a stitch marker, safety eyes if that is your preference, however we will be using felt, any type of adhesive, a 5mm crochet hook, some scissors, and felt. You will also need 2 shades of pink yarn. You will be beginning with the lightest colour. Make a slip knot and then single crochet 6 times into a magic ring. If you are a complete beginner and are not sure how to make a magic ring, I do have a playlist of videos that go over the specific stitches that you need to learn to make this Kirby, and I will link that down below in the description. So once you've made your magic ring, we are now going to increase into each stitch, which will give us 12 stitches overall. In the next round, we are now going to insert our hook and single crochet in the next stitch. And then in the stitch after that, we are going to increase, and we are going to be repeating that 6 times overall so that we have 18 stitches in our round. So again, you will be single crocheting in the next stitch, and then in the next one you'll be increasing. For round 4, we will be single crocheting in the next 2 stitches, and then in the 3rd stitch we will be increasing. So again, we will be inserting our hook and single crocheting in the next 2 stitches, and then increasing in the 3rd. And repeating that 6 times overall for 24 stitches in our round. For round 5, we will be single crocheting in the next 3 stitches and then increasing in the 4th stitch. We will be repeating this 6 times overall for 30 stitches in our round. So again, we will be single crocheting in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and then increasing in the 4th. For round 6, we will be single crocheting in the next 4 stitches and then increasing in the 5th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then increasing in the 5th stitch, repeating this overall 6 times so that we have 36 stitches in our round. For round 7, you will be single crocheting in the next 5 stitches and then increasing in the 6th stitch. This will be the last round that you'll be increasing in. So again, single crocheting in the next 5 stitches. 3, 4, 5, and then increasing in the 6th. Now that all of your increases are finished, I would recommend adding a stitch marker here because we are about to do 4 rounds of single crochets. These are helpful because they help keep track of your work without having to constantly count in your head. Now you will be single crocheting in each stitch of the round for 4 rounds. Once you have finished crocheting your rounds, just take your needle and double check that you do have 4 rounds, as this is what will make up the shape and height of the body. For the next round, we will be single crocheting in the next 5 stitches and then decreasing in the 6th stitch. In this tutorial, I use invisible decreases, however you can just use a regular decrease. This is just personal preference. So again, we are single crocheting in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then decreasing in the 6th stitch. We'll be repeating this overall 6 times, and you should now have 36 stitches in your round. For the next round, you will be single crocheting in the next 4 stitches and then decreasing in the next stitch, repeating this 6 times overall so that you will have 30 stitches in your round. So again, we'll be single crocheting in the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then decreasing. For the next round, you'll be single crocheting in the next 3 stitches and then decreasing in the 4th stitch, repeating again 6 times overall so that you have 24 stitches in your round. Again, single crocheting in the next 3 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, and then decreasing in the 4th stitch. The next round, I will be single crocheting in the next 2 stitches and then decreasing in the 3rd, again repeating this overall 6 times so that you'll have 18 stitches in your round. Here is where I loosen the loop on my hook by giving it a gentle pull, and now I'm going to start stuffing. The way I stuff my teddies is I will pull the stuffing apart so that it's not as lumpy, as I feel like this makes the toys less lumpy when you squish them. And I am just stuffing the body firmly, just using little bits at a time. Grab your hook again as we will be continuing the body. So for the next round, we will be single crocheting in the next stitch, and then in the 2nd stitch we will be decreasing, repeating this 6 times overall to make 12 stitches in the round. So again, single crocheting in the next stitch and then decreasing in the 2nd. I always add a little bit of extra stuffing in between these last few rounds so that the bottom of the Kirby isn't so flat. Now grab your hook again as we will be doing the final round of the body, which will be decreasing in each stitch. Once you are done, cut your yarn, leaving a long tail for sewing the body up. Insert the yarn tail into the needle and sew the body shut. The way you sew the body shut is you go through each individual stitch in the round with your needle. So insert in the 1st stitch and pull through, insert your needle into the 2nd stitch and pull through, and you'll be doing this for each stitch in the round, so that will be all 6 stitches in the round. And then at the end, very gently pull the yarn tail, which will close the hole. Once you have finished, weave the yarn tail through using your needle, so just take it through a stitch of the body and pull through. And then cut the yarn tail, and that is the body done. Now we will be making the arms, and you will be continuing in the lightest colour. So you'll be creating a magic ring and single crocheting 4 times into a magic ring. I apologise if you can hear the rain outside, it is absolutely miserable in England today. Now you have created your magic ring, you will now be increasing into each stitch. You'll be repeating this 4 times overall so that you have 8 stitches in your round. For the next round, you will be single crocheting in the next stitch and then increasing in the 2nd stitch, and you will be repeating this 4 times overall so that you have 12 stitches in the round. Now you will be single crocheting into each stitch of the round for 2 rounds. Once you are done, pull your yarn through and cut a long yarn tail so that you have enough for sewing, and make sure you make 2. We will now be making the feet, so change to your bright pink yarn. Begin by chaining 6 times. Starting from the second chain on the hook, you will be single crocheting in the next 4 stitches. In the 5th stitch, you will be increasing. Next, you will be turning your work and single crocheting in the next 4 stitches, then increasing in the next stitch, which will be the 5th stitch. Now you will be single crocheting in the next 5 stitches and then increasing in the 6th stitch. Again, you'll be single crocheting in the next 5 stitches and then increasing in the 6th stitch. The rain is coming down very hard now, so I do apologise if you can hear it. Now insert your stitch marker and single crochet in each stitch of the round for 2 rounds. Now you will be single crocheting in the next 5 stitches and decreasing in the 6th stitch. You will then do that again. So single crochet another 5 times and then decrease once again. Once you are finished, make sure you add a small amount of stuffing to the foot. Now we will be crocheting the feet shut, so pinch the sides together and then single crochet through both of the sides. So insert your hook into the first stitch on one side and then insert your hook in the opposite stitch of the other side of the foot. And then you will yarn over and single crochet them together. Once you have done this, cut your yarn tail and pull your yarn through. Make sure you make 2 feet. Now we will be positioning the feet in preparation for sewing. You can do this by securing the feet in place using a needle. Position the feet about 10 stitches apart and begin sewing. To avoid the feet being floppy, we will be turning our Kirby round and sewing across the other side of the foot. Once you are done, after the last stitch, weave the end through the body and cut. We will now be sewing on the arms, so before beginning, make sure you add a little bit of stuffing to them. Once you have stuffed them, position the arms and sew them to the body. Like you did when finishing the feet, take your needle and weave it through the body. Once you've done that, then cut off the excess yarn. Now we will be making the eyes, so with the black felt, I am cutting a roughly 0.5 cm by 2 cm rectangle, and then I will be shaping it into an oval. Take your time with this, as this can be very, very fiddly. I'm now making the blue part of the eye by cutting the corner of a blue square of felt and then shaping the edges. I am then adding my adhesive and sticking it to the bottom. I do recommend using a hot glue gun for this, however I had lost mine, so I am using super glue. I have cut a very small rectangle of white and am now also shaping this into an oval and then sticking it to the eye. I'm now making the mouth by cutting a semicircle shape out of red felt. And then I am drawing on some details using a marker and also a purple pen. I am now positioning where I want them to be, and then using my adhesive I am gluing on the eyes and mouth. Again, I do recommend a hot glue gun for this and not super glue. And you are done. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe.